Zach. Welcome back to the Heroverse. And guys, I just got done with episode 1 of season 4, part 1 of Stranger Things called Hellfire Club. This will be my spoiler review. Guys, I just want to start off by saying the budget this season for Stranger Things is freaking phenomenal. They were not kidding when they said that this season's bigger and better, and a lot of the castmates said this is the best season yet. It's safe to say this is definitely the best season yet, and I just got done only with episode 1. The budget is so, is 10 times bigger than what it's been. The cinematography, the freaking practical effects on Vecna are insane. You really feel the threat, of this villain of this season. You really feel the threat of Vecna just by being practical effects. Not only that, the sound design in this season so far has been probably one, if not the best sound design they have had for this season. I am just loving it all around. I'm loving how literally we get introduced, how we start off by getting introduced to where everybody is this season. Of course, we see Will, Joyce, and Jonathan and Eleven are all in California, and that was just interesting to see what Eleven's been going through. Her at school with Will, she's getting bullied, and, it's just very, very sad because she's getting bullied by a girl named Erica, and, she was doing her presentation, she got made fun of because, the presentation was about, who's your hero, and she did, of course, did Hopper, which was very sad, and then they made fun of her, they stepped on her project, and she tried doing, she tried using her powers, but of course she doesn't have them from the events of last season, when that weird worm part of the mind flare went into her leg, which, is super upsetting. I'm still wondering if she will get her powers back this season, so I'm just curious to know if she will. On top of, Will, he's pretty much trying to find his way in school as well. We don't really know much on where his character's at this season, because they were kind of focused up more on Eleven and how she's experiencing high school, but I think we'll see Will's experience soon to come. But going back to, and also Jonathan is, of course, a stoner this time around. He's, discovered weed, and, he is, with his friends, and that's where the whole, what is it called? A surfer boy pizza comes from. That whole, surfer boy pizza car. I'm not sure what his friend's name is, but he's super funny, and I'm excited because Jonathan really hasn't seen Nancy. And I guess, it's about to be summertime, and he doesn't want to go see Nancy, I guess, because, Nancy's doing her stuff at the paper. I guess, with the school paper now, she's doing stuff at the school paper. So that's just very interesting that she's doing all that stuff with the high school paper. I don't know if she's a teacher at this point or doing something, but she's still working at the school paper. And then, of course, we see Will and we see Dustin, and they're doing the Hellfire Club, which is called, this episode's called Hellfire Club. And, they are in with the Dungeons and Dragons group in high school. And, of course, as we all know, Lucas, he is in more with the popular crowd. He's doing basketball now, which is crazy because, we get that one scene where he's talking to Dustin and he's talking to Will, saying, I don't want to be in, be in the losers club anymore. I want to be, popular, so that way we can all be popular. I don't want to be a loser anymore. And that was just very interesting to me that, they're really going this, how it is in high school, how some people part, friends part, and sometimes, you grow, in a different way and stuff, and we're really seeing that, how people are going down their own paths. Lucas wants to be popular, Will and Dustin don't really care about being popular, and they want, Dustin to come to their Dungeons and Dragons game at the Hellfire, in their Hellfire Club. They want, I guess there's a match happening, with one of these new characters, Eddie. Yeah, Eddie is the leader of the Dungeons and Dragons club in high school, and Dustin and not Dustin, Dustin and Will are a part of that club, and they want Lucas to come, do their match that they were supposed to do, but apparently it's on the same night as the championship basketball game, and he's a part of the basketball team, but apparently he's been riding the bench the entire season, and it's the final championship game, and they're like, oh, you probably won't even get off the bench, why don't you just come to this match that you're supposed to be doing with us because you're a part of the Hellfire Club? And apparently, he thinks it's more important to do that because he wants to be popular. So he's like, there's a chance I could get off the bench this game. I want to do that. And of course, Eddie, he is talking to this, he's a really funny, awesome character, this new character. And I'm really liking him. He's just this, free spirit, and, he doesn't care that he's called a loser, and, he embraces the whole Dungeons and Dragons thing. And, I guess he has this, has some history with this girl that is a super popular girl that's on the cheerleading team. Her name is Chrissy, and, she is a part of the cheerleading team, for the basketball team. And, it's funny because literally, before that, we really focus up on her character and focus up on Eddie's character and how, he knows her and how she goes to Eddie. And you think that she wouldn't go to Eddie because she's a part of the popular crowd, and Eddie's a part of course, the Dungeons and Dragons Club, which, people, you would just assume they really wouldn't, probably talk to one another. And, she apparently, we really focus up on her character, and apparently she is being, she's being pretty much she is pretty much being preyed upon by Vecna. Vecna is pretty much trying to essentially free her from her I guess her fears, or free her from her sorrow or whatever. And that was just very interesting to me that this character is kind of like an it character that feeds on fear and I guess releases people from their fear, but uses their fear or whatever to get to the point where I guess, when he releases them from their fear, I guess he gets stronger from what I'm getting at. So I'm really liking how they're really building up this villain this season, and they're giving him practical effects, and how Vecna ties into the Creel house, because there was a scene where Chrissy is going to Eddie to get some weed, well, not even weed, but to get some coke or whatever, because she's going through all these headaches, and she's seeing things, and she thinks she's going crazy because Vecna is making her see this clock on the wall, meaning I guess it's time for her to for her sorrows to be released and her fears to be released, so she can be free from her fears and stuff. So I guess that's a sign of Vecna being around, is them, if you seeing this clock, which apparently we've been seeing in the promos, that clock is in the Creel house. So we don't really know what the Creel house is, how it connects to Vecna, but I think we'll be getting to that somewhere in the episodes to come, and how the Creel house and Vecna, how they tie into one another and tie into the Upside Down. So it's very interesting to me to see how that all goes. But, when she was there, Chrissy, to get, the coke to ease her pain from her headaches and her seeing things, because she thinks that will help her, she ends up getting killed by Vecna and pretty much getting left in, her body gets left in, Eddie's trailer that when she went there after the game to go get the stuff, when she was floating up in the air and, twirling around the ceiling, and, her body was pretty much getting twisted and stuff, and then she got dropped on the ground. It makes me wonder, it really shows the threat of Vecna, but also makes me wonder, are people going to think that Eddie's the one that killed her because Chrissy's body was in, Eddie's, trailer? So I don't know where that's all going to go into the next episode. But, I think that the body will show that there is a new threat here, and it is Vecna. So I'm just excited for, the mystery to start, which it is starting now, where there is something. They're going to find out that Vecna is, that there's stuff going back down in the Upside Down, and the Upside Down is not gone. So I'm excited to see how this all plays in, especially with, Elle and, Luke, Elle and Will, because Will is going to see Elle in California. So I'm not sure when we're going to get the moment where Elle and Will come back to Hawkins to help them figure out what's going on. Because, and of course, where all that's going on, we of course have Erica, since, Lucas didn't show up to the Hellfire Club, D&D match. Will and Dustin go to see Erica to have Erica fill in for Lucas. So I thought that was very interesting that they're bringing in, Erica's really embracing, her nerdiness from, last season. How she's like, oh, I'm not a nerd, but of course, Dustin's like, you are a nerd, and she's embracing that nerdiness this season by her being in the Hellfire match and taking over for Lucas not being there. Because Lucas wants to go into the more popularity route, but of course, Erica is, she's coming into, the whole nerdiness aspect of her life. So I really do like how Erica is really going full nerd from what we're seeing, embracing the nerd. And, she's making it really cool. So I really do like how she's doing that. And we just really saw that through, through the match. Well, Erica, she was, working together with Dustin and Will to win the game. And then, of course, we see, Lucas getting off the bench and him winning the game as well. So it's like, he is going into the more popularity route where Erica is going into the more nerdiness route, and I do like how they foreshadowed that with the editing. But yeah, guys, I'm just loving what is going on right now, especially because again, like our group is split up. Getting that package from Russia, and then that doll that had the paper in it that said Hopper's alive. Who sent that thing from Russia to say that Hopper was alive? So I'm just excited that Hopper's alive. So it's going to be interesting to see, when she'll tell the kids if there is actual proof that he's alive, other than this note that we don't know where it's coming from Russia that's saying Hopper is alive. So I'm just excited to see the episodes that come, to see how all the group gets all together, to know that there is this threat in Hawkins. And I'm hoping that Will and Eleven come back, not only knowing that Hopper's alive, but to get back together with the group to know that there is a threat in the Upside Down that ties into Hopper in Russia, because we know that there's a portal, I think, still open in Russia, hence the whole, the Demodog fight, the fight arena that Hopper's going to be fighting in. So I want to know how Russia ties into all this, and if they're still trying to get into the Upside Down, why they even want to get into the Upside Down, we still don't know. But I'm just excited to see how this all is going to tie in this season. But literally, the budget feels big this season, just by the way the show looks, just by the way the cinematography is, just by the way the sound design is. Also, they're really going in with the practical effects, and they're really balancing the CGI with the practical effects. But apparently, majority of this season for Vecna is practical effects, which I do like how they're going practical and they're not going CGI. I feel like it's a lot more scarier that they're going into the more practical effects realm. And the vibes I'm getting off of Vecna is like between it and also between Freddy Krueger, which I'm liking. It's kind of like a thing of Freddy Krueger is in people's dreams, but also it turns into what people fear. So I'm getting both of the vibes of it and Freddy Krueger. So I'm just loving the vibes that we're getting. I'm loving just how I'm just loving the season. It feels like the story is very strong this season. It feels like the budget is very big this season. Hence why each episode is an hour and 14 or 15 minutes. Hell, some episodes are an hour and 20. So I just want to come on here and give my first episode review again of Stranger Things Season 4, Part 1, Episode 1, called Hellfire Club. Yet again, guys, I want to know down in the comments below, what do you guys think so far of this season? I think this might be the best season yet. If I had to rank them, I would probably be doing this season, third season, then second season, then first season. I feel like, I felt like nothing could have beat that third season, but honestly, this season might beat it, guys. I just feel like from the trailers, they were going bigger and better. And I feel like when they announced that these episodes were long and that this was the biggest budget that they got, I feel like that was a sign that this was going to be a big season and their best season yet, especially from what the cast is saying. And from episode 1, I can agree this might be the best season of Stranger Things so far. So I'm just super excited to keep going with this series, and I'm super excited for you guys to see these reviews. Let me know if you guys like this part reviews, spoiler reviews. Let me know if you guys like it in parts. But yeah, guys, that was a video. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll see you guys next time.